Good afternoon, future and fellow widows of the flock. How are you? Welcome to the party pen, where we have good time reading Das Bible. It's going to be great. So, yesterday we left off. Joshua died, okay? So Joshua died. Then most of Joshua's generation died. And then the people started acting bad. Okay. And then they learned, well, first they learned that they could talk to God themselves. Then Joshua died. Then they started to fuck around after Josh and all his people, most all his people died. They started being evil. And then God told them, knock it the fuck off, because I'm going to bust that ass if you don't quit. And the people didn't quit. So, come on in if you want to find out what happened. What happens. Leave your shoes on. Press like and subscribe. And definitely subscribe if you want to hear what happens next. Because it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be great. So, pack a bowl, grab a cigarette, stop right here, and grab some Keep Other People Alive juice. Then come in and have a seat, and let's smoke it, read it, drink it. It's going to be good. Alright, let's go to chapter 3. Okay. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan. Okay. Only that the generations of the vampires might know. Okay. To teach them, at least such as before knew nothing of. What the fuck does that mean? Like, seriously, on some real shit. The fuck does that mean? Like, hold on. So, like, he left these guys alive so they would fight with the other guys so they learned how to fight. Listen, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but it seems like God left these people alive to fight with these people. So God's like playing Risk with himself. And I asked him before to play like shoots and teach me how to play shoots and ladders. But now he's like playing Risk with himself. And God's two. We learned that in Genesis. God is two people. Or he's got split personality. So is he just playing Risk with his other personality? But the name of the game would still be God wins. But which side of God wins? But if he is just playing by himself, just leaving people here to die, and at the end of the game he ends up hating these people, so then what? God loses, but why? And then after that, America's like, hey, God's our guy. So is he back to playing? Are we gonna win? I don't know what's happening. But God leaves these people alive to fight with these people. But these people only lose sometimes. These people lose most all the time. So it's like God's playing by himself. Like, I will play with you, big guy. I don't know how to play Risk. We could play a different game. I mean, I'm not very good at strategy. Like, I suck at things. So I don't want to play this game with you. I'll play a different game. And not Monopoly, because I suck at that also. Well, I mean, with your help, I would probably win at that game. But if I'm playing against you, I guess I would lose because God wins. I don't know, I'd rather play Chutes and Ladders, maybe some Candyland. This is a terrible game and it's really sad. God's playing it by himself. I wonder if he's having a good time. I don't know, but it's sad. Okay. Namely, the 5 lords of the Philistines, and the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, and Mount Baal Hermon, unto the entering of Hamath. So also the other theme of this book is the Philistines always live. Like the Philistines are always like sheep for slaughter. And they should stop feeling special because they're kept alive just to die. That's also not a good thing, but God logic. Okay. And they were to prove Israel, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Okay, here we go. God's like, just follow the commandments, the 10 commandments. Okay. And the children of Israel dwelt. Okay, so the vampires dwelt among the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. I thought they already destroyed these people, though. Listen, what's happening? These people were already destroyed. Okay. And they took their daughters to be their wives and their sons. Hold on. They took their daughters for wives and gave their daughters to their sons and served their gods. See, so these people aren't even the real people. They started as Shemidians. Well, they were Shemites, then Chaldean, and then what was Isaac? No, Isaac's wife, Rachel. She was Jacob's wife, Rachel, was a different thing too. So these people, I'm starting to think Jew means mutt. Or something close to mutt. Mixed. Something. Okay. And the vampires did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord their God, and served Baalim and the groves. See, what are the groves? That's like trees and shit, grapes. Something just happened. Okay. So, is the grows like grapes and shit? Is this why God hates grapes? God ends up hating grapes. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And see, he sold them into the hand of Cushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the vampires served Cushan Rishathaim 8 years. And when the children of Israel cried to the Lord. So when the vampires started crying, right, the Lord raised up a deliverer who delivered them. It was Caleb's younger brother. But I thought they died with Josh. But okay. Josh, or Caleb's brother. He delivered them. So I don't know what happened. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel and went to war, and and delivered Cushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand. And his hand prevailed against Mesopotamia, who ends up being its own place, by the way. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, Das Juden didn't take it. And the land had rest 40 years. And Othniel, Kenaz, died. Yeah. And the vampires did evil again. They decided to fuck around. Now they're about to find out. Here we go. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, king of Moab, against vampires, because they were evil as fuck. Okay. And he gathered them. So the king of Moab gathered the children of Amalek, and they went against and they went against the vampires, and the vampires possessed the city of palm trees. Wait a minute. Okay, the king of Moab gathered to him Ammon and Amalek, and they went against and smote the vampires and possessed the city of palm trees. Okay. And so the vampires served Eglon, king of Moab, 18 years. Man, that's wild. But when the vampires cried to the Lord raised them up a deliverer, and Ehud the Benjamite, a man left-handed, and by him the vampires sent a present to Eglon, the king of Moab. Oh, this story is fucking... Listen, I gotta get comfortable because this is great. Oh, did you see that? I just dropped my Bible. Hopefully it didn't get too fucked up. Oh, it didn't really get fucked up at all. Well, kinda. I need to fix my life. Alright, let's get comfortable. because this is great. You're going to love this story, I promise. You're going to love this story. Okay. Okay. He was left-handed. And by him, the vampires sent to Eglon, the king of Moab, a present. And Ehud made him a dagger, which had 2 edges, and they were a cubit long. Okay. Where the fuck am I in life? Okay, here we go. So it was a cubit long, and he girded it under his raiment upon his right thigh. Okay. And he brought the present to Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. He was huge. I bet he was gross. He had thin red hair, a lot of acne. He was fat, huge. And then, like, crumbs of food and stains all over whatever the fuck they wore back then, the giant dresses. I bet he had a giant ass fucking moon. It was like a shower curtain. King size shirt. Made out of bed sheets. So gross. Ugh. And he had made an end to offer the present and sent away the people that bore the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king. Who said, Keep silence. And all that stood by him went out. And Ehud came unto him. He was sitting in a summer parlour, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God. And he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat enclosed upon the blade, so he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. Oh, could you imagine being that fat? Oh my God. Ugh. Could you imagine? His fucking fat ate the sword. Oh my God. So gross. Listen. How are you so fat your stomach eats a sword? Listen. Could you imagine how fat that is? Oh my God. Ugh. Look. Bleh. Nope, not happening. It might have happened at one time, but it never happened at one time. I was never that big. Was I? Well, I was pretty big when I was pregnant. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been fat enough for my fat to eat a sword. Yeah, but that could be like, I don't know, embellishment. Maybe it just went through his backside also. I don't know. Then Ehud went forth through the porch, and shut the doors of the parlour upon him, and locked them. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw, behold, the doors of the parlour were locked, they said, Surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. What does that even mean? Oh, was they thinking that he was getting some dome? That's kind of gross. And and they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he did not open the doors of the parlor. Therefore, they took a key and opened them. And behold, their Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. And he had escaped while they tarried, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped into sea right off. And it came to pass when he came that he blew a trumpet. Yeah, blew a fucking trumpet. And the mountain of Ephraim, and the vampires went down with him from the mount. And before them, and he had said to them, follow after me, for the Lord has delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of the Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time 10,000 men, all lusty, and men of valor. There escaped no man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hands of the vampires, and the land had rest 80 years. And after him was Shamgar, son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered the vampires. I don't know what the fucking ox goad is. I don't know. I don't know what an ox goad is. But alright. I don't know if I'm gonna. Okay. Listen, we are gonna pause right here. We're gonna refill, pack a bowl, grab a cigarette, and go pee, water our plants, and check our cats. We will be right back. Alright, chapter 4. And the vampires again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of King Jabin, the king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain whose host was Sisera. So is the god's name Sisera? Hold on. And the captains whose host was Sisera. So is Sisera a name of a god? And he dwelt in Harasheth of the Gentiles. Look, the Gentiles aren't even, those are somebody else. So really they can't call people who are not from Haroshet. So people that are not from there aren't exactly Gentiles. Well, they're not Gentiles at all. Okay. And the vampires cried to the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. Okay, so he oppressed the vampires. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lepidus, she judged Israel at that time. Look, it's a woman in charge. Look at that. See, I don't know why they say the Bible is anti-woman. There's women in charge all the fucking time. But, look, what is that? What is that? We should write that the fuck down. Hold on. We'll mark this in the Bible and I'll never remember why. So let's do it. Okay. That's a woman in charge right there. Fuck y'all. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel and Mount Ephraim. And the vampires came to her for judgment. Oh, look, look! A woman judging men. Fuck y'all, look. Hold on. We're gonna mark this one. And never remember why. But there you go. A woman judging men. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh, Naphtali. And she said to him, hath not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and the children of Zebulun. Look, look, look! Yeah, this is a great story. Oh my God, I love this story. This is women being fucking badass in the Bible. Fuck y'all. Okay. And I will draw unto thee 2 river Kishbon Sisera, the captain of Javin's army. Okay. Kishbon Sisera, comma, the captain of whose host was Sisera. Okay. So there's a river called Kishon Sisera, comma, the captain of Javin's army, comma, with his chariots, his multitude, semicolon, and I will deliver him into your hand. Okay, so the god is called Sisera. It's not the captain. It's the god. And the river is named Kishon Sisera. Figured it out. And Barak said to her, I am a coward and a Muslim. That's not what he said. And Barak said to her, if you will go with me, then I will go. But if you don't go with me, then I don't go. Coward! Look, he's relying on a woman. Right there. Relying on a woman. Look, women are badass motherfuckers in the Bible. Check it out. And she said, I'll go. Notwithstanding the journey that you take shall not be for your honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak. So she went with Obama the coward to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh. And he went up with 10,000 men at his feet. And Deborah went with him. Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses. So now he's called Hobab. There's another name for Moses' father-in-law. Was he Secret Service or were people just making this shit up? They're like, oh yeah, we were the father-in-law of Moses. They just, look, they lied. Listen. Okay. Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself from the Kenites and pitched his tent into the plain of Naim, which is by Kadesh. Here we go. And they showed Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, was gone up to Mount Tabor. Okay, so Sisera is the captain. Okay. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Harosheth of the Gentiles into the river of Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, up, for this is the day in which the Lord has delivered Sisera into your hand. Is it not the Lord gone out before you? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him. And the Lord discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off his chariot and fled on his feet. But Barak pursued the chariots and after the host unto Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the host of Sisera fell upon the edge of a sword. There was not a man left. Howbeit, Sisera fled away on his feet into the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin and Heber. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said, turn in, my lord, turn in to me. Fear not. And when he had went into her tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said to her, give me some water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. Okay, he asked for water and she gave him milk. Again, he said to her, stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be when any man comes and inquires of you, say, is there any man here? You say, no. And when Jael Heber's wife took a nail, then she took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand and went softly to him, and smote the nail to his temples, and fastened it to the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary. So he died. Hey, hey, that woman busted that ass. She nailed his head to the ground. Could you imagine having your head nailed to the ground? Oh, oh. And it was the front of his head. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said to him, "Come, and I will show you a man whom you seek." And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead and nailed in his head to the ground. So God subdued on that day Jabin, king of the Canaanites, before the vampires, and the hand of the vampires prospered and prevailed against Jabin until they had destroyed Jabin, king of Canaan. Yeah! Alright, that was the end of that. So, press like and subscribe if you want to come back for tomorrow, chapter 5 and 6. Oh, and I hope you had a great time learning how women in the Bible are badass and they save people. So great. And these are not the only two women either. So, I want to hold on. Okay. I want to thank you for watching and remind you, keep your head down, your nose clean, your shoes tied. Don't get ready. Stay ready. And we will be back tomorrow. Oh, oh. And that Ruby and the cult shit that fucked her kids up the other day. The YouTube mom. Her trial should be coming up soon. I can't wait. And the Koberger thing, I haven't watched anything on that. And the Murdaugh thing, them crooked ass DAs are like, it's defective. No, it's not. So it's going to be great to see what happens. So thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.